Hey everybody, Rachel here, Healing in Our Homes, and we're talking keto again today. I wanted to share kind of a personal, special part of my story. One of the things I did besides tracking my food and the keto diet app was I kept calendars of my weight loss. This is my very private way to keep track of what I was doing to detox and to lose weight. Now, big debate people have, should you weigh in every day? For some people, this is mentally not healthy. If it is a compulsion, if it makes you depressed, if you didn't lose weight day to day, which let me tell you, your body goes through a cycle every month, right? And so there's parts of that cycle where you might retain water, you might gain a little weight or whatever, right? We fluctuate. So from Tuesday to Wednesday, if my scale goes up, that doesn't mean that keto's not working or that something's wrong. Now, if it goes up 5 pounds over the next week or two, then, I would start to be like, okay, well, am I on my period? Okay, when I'm on my period, I ignore the scale. And when my period's over, then I check back in. If my weight's creeping up after my period's over, then I'll be looking at adjusting what I'm eating, having an honest talk with myself about what's legitimately going into my mouth, right? Because sometimes we're like, I'm doing keto, but we're really not. So anyways, I wanted to share this. This was June, and when I started, 2017, and I started at 234. So I had my blood work done every 3 months when I was losing weight. I was very, very ill from the mold we'd had in our home, from being pregnant 7 times, having 5 babies. My miscarriages were very hard on me. I'd had blood transfusions. I'd not slept in years. I had major adrenal fatigue, right? And so this was a whole health journey for me. But for whatever reason that you're doing keto, I kept track of when I was on my period and kind of what my weight did. So just in the first week, I lost 8 pounds. Now, a lot of people will lose very quickly in the beginning because water weight. So when we eat foods that are high in inflammation, like gluten and dairy and sugar, our body holds on to that water weight. And when we cut those out, sometimes our body just drops that water weight, which is fantastic. And it begins to burn fat as its fuel as well. So July, let's say I started on the 22nd, I lost 15 pounds my first month. So I was down to 218. And I just kind of kept, my son broke his leg and I was overnight in the hospital with him and I still lost weight. I stayed strict. I had stuff with me. Now I did personally have a cheat meal once a month. That's my personal choice. Some people won't, some people don't, some people can't. We'll talk about that in another video, but I was doing my business, running my doTERRA business, teaching people about essential oils all the time. And we actually traveled home that month to California and I stayed strict. I brought all my keto stuff with me. So by 2 months in, I had lost 24 pounds. So if you figure that's 8 weeks, so that's about 3 pounds a week averaging at that time. I was doing enemas and colonics and heavy, heavy detox. We were going through birthdays and anniversaries. So like I would weigh in, I'll just give you an example. 214.4, 214.4, 213.4. Later in that week, it was 211.8. The next day, it was 210.8. Now, this is in the morning after I've had a bowel movement, okay? Don't compare that weigh-in with after you've had 3 meals in a day. We eat at the same time in the same circumstances every time. 2 weeks later, I was down another 4 pounds. So pretty much for me, it would go down every day a little bit. Now again, I'm eating a whole foods keto, no dairy, so I don't have any inflammation issues from that, and I'm doing a heavy, heavy detox. So I did see a very steady decrease. This would be July, August. So 3 months in, I had lost 35 pounds. So again, that's about 3 pounds a week averaging. So I lost so at the top, I would write how much I lost that month. So the month of July, 11.2, and that was not a whole month. August, 10.8. September, 6.6. This right here, 3 months in, I got under 200, 199. I hadn't seen that in forever, and that was the day after I started my period. So I was really excited. October, I lost 10 pounds again. So at 4 months in, I had lost 44 pounds. So a little under, but now we're getting closer to a 4 pound a week average. And sometimes it went up and let's see, down. I pretty much like stayed, I didn't really go up. I just kept going down. I was very, very strict. And when I did cheat, I cheated one meal and that was it. And I went back to all this. November, I lost 4.6 pounds. You know, it was the holidays. I totally stalled out. And this is when I had to take a hard look at my my macros and what I was eating. And as you lose weight, you have to decrease your daily calories, right? So I had to adjust. Now in December, I got the flu. And I did get sick a lot during this time. We were doing something, we had molds still in our home and we didn't know. And so I began to have respiratory issues. I got the flu. I was just sick a lot that December. This last December, I was not sick at all. Nothing major whatsoever. So that was a blessing. Just a sign of healing, right? But that was flu B I had. Christmas, all that kind of stuff. So I started the month at 183 and I still ended at 181. So I still actually lost weight, I guess technically. No, I ended at 183. I lost 0 pounds in that December. And you know, that's just the way it is. I was sick. My body was fighting. You know, I know we had mold again in our home. And so it's just the way it was. And you carry on. So the next month, January, I kept going with my detoxing and acupuncture and getting my blood work done. Let's see, still once a month cheat, that is it. I lost 7 pounds that January. February, what did I lose? I don't know. I kind of started taking less strict stuff. I have here that I was, let's see, I have kids with the flu. Oh my gosh. It looked like I lost 3 pounds in February. March, I got down to a size 10. I have that marked down here. I was wearing an 18 when I started. So what is this? June, what did I start again? June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So 9 months in, and I'd gone from an 18 to a 10. I traveled for doTERRA to our leadership conference, and I looked like I lost about 3 pounds that month. The next month, I was sick again. I had a sinus infection. Again, we had mold in our home and we still did not know yet at this point. I did not lose any weight that month. May, I lost 2 pounds. I got really super strict and hit my 70-pound mark here at May. So this is my 1-year mark. I had hit 70 pounds lost in a year. It's pretty crazy. And I didn't, let's see, 68 pounds in a year, down to a size 8 the next week. That was in June. The next month I lost 2 pounds. Now, as I got really close to my goal weight, this is actually below my goal weight because I kept moving my goal back and down. It got harder. So just know that if you're super close to your goal, it does get harder and harder. You have to be more meticulous. Went to California for 2 weeks. I didn't gain anything. Super proud of myself. I think I had some fries here and there, but for the most part, I brought keto food or shipped keto food ahead, and you know, we would go out and I'd get a burger with no bun, right? We cooked a lot ourselves and stuff like that. So looks like I lost 2 pounds that month, and I kind of stopped keeping track. Somewhere in the next few months, I hit 154, which is the 80-pound mark. And so I would say it took me about 18 months, a little under 18 months to lose that 80 pounds. For me, keeping these was just my own little private way of knowing I was on the right track and helping me see what I was doing. I was doing all these things for my body, and I had a lot on my plate. I mean, I have 5 kids, and I run a business that does millions a month in sales, and it just, you know, I always have a lot on my plate. That's no excuse. I traveled, I went on vacation, I was sick, I had sick kids, and I persevered. I kept going. You know, I'm always going to struggle with food. I'm always going to struggle with addiction and wanting to overeat and wanting to eat things that taste a certain way. And sometimes I do, but we need to be, you know, 99% on track, right? And so We'll talk about cheat meals in another one, but I hope that gives you a little insight into kind of how much you can lose. I would say 10 pounds a month, you know, for several months, and usually between 2 and 10 pounds a month, and 68 pounds in a year, I think is what I said. So if I can do it, you can do it too. It's math, right? You keep your numbers at a certain place, and they work. You find what works for you, and you get into that fat burning mode, and watch out. You are gonna be just melting away. So hope that encourages you to keto on and keep doing the best you can for your health.